Whole show name. My bad, y'all. Welcome to Street Apologist Live with your host, Vocab Malone. It is Saturday, June 15th. The time is 5:40 right now on the West Coast. Let's get it kicking off right now with the intro to the show. And here it is.
You're now listening to Street Apologist. 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 On the radio.
All right, y'all. What's up? Welcome to the show. My name is Vocab Malone, like I already said. And you are now rocking with Street Apologist Live. You know the day, you know the time, you know all that. Right now, I need you to grab this link and please share it, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you also to make sure you hit that like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. And let me get my stuff set up here. I'm gonna let's bring up these lights here. Check this out. You can see I'm gonna control it right here from my phone. Let me get this a little bit more where. Switch this, y'all. Watch in the background, watch. Boom. What color do y'all want? What color do y'all want? Let's go more with an orange kind of color, all right? Let me get a kind of an orange color here. And that kind of blends it in, huh? I like that, though. That's not bad. I think that works. Let's brighten it up a little bit. Boom. Okay. I'm feeling that right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Listen, today's show might have to run like we can't go our normal length time, I don't think. Here we're gonna have to go a little bit shorter, okay, because I got some stuff I gotta do. And if you're wondering why I was late today, I have a perfectly good excuse. You guys know Con Man Mike? Well, guess what, my man Con Man Mike swooped through, which is super cool to see him. You know what I mean? He swooped through and took me out to grab some Thai food. Okay. And it was good Thai food. Well, my point by saying all that is, you know, things kind of took a little bit longer. You know, you're with people that you care about. You're with people. And, you know, I didn't get quite started as soon as I wanted to. So sorry about that delay, but it's good to see you guys. I know you still got people coming in here. So we are getting set up, and I'm just chilling right now, checking out the Jonathan Soko beats, everybody. I think that's kind of a fine thing to do. Let's get this here. How do we want this? Let's see. I kind of want it right about there. Now let me do this. Just give me a second, y'all. We're just kind of chilling right now. Turn up the contrast a little bit. Turn down the brightness. I don't like it as bright as some of y'all. Turn up the sharpness just a tad. Looks pretty good, actually, if you ask me. We got that. Let's zoom in a little bit. Zoom in here a little bit. Okay, right? How you guys feel that angle, that look? It's not bad if you ask me. All right, the show is officially underway, and I know there's some things on the screen I'm gonna have to fix real quick, but tell me, you guys, how you guys are doing. How'd you know, Andrew Graham? I got yellow curry. Andrew Graham, look at you. Yeah, bro, I got the yellow curry. That's what I got. That's so funny you even asked that. They didn't get it. They got some other stuff that I had not heard of before, and I'm not judging them or anything like that. It was cool, but they got stuff that was a little bit different. But I got the yellow curry. It is a new spot, so Comment Mike was the one who found out about it, which is good. Okay, that's funny. Let's see. Let's change the Contradictions in Islam, question mark. Today's the 15th. All right, Contradictions. Did I spell it right? You never know. I never put stuff past me to do some dumb stuff. All right. What's up, D-New? Talking about light bright. You know, it's crazy. A lot of people don't even know those references these days. It's sad, isn't it? You know what? Let me interact with you guys. You guys are kind of making fun comments today. Sometimes y'all just be in there with some trash, but You guys are kind of making some fun comments today, so let me. I'm just kidding, y'all. You know I love you guys. Let me interact a little bit here. Nate, you're saying you want to see the entire banner. I can get it a little bit more, but it's kind of not cooperating with me on the angles. So I'm trying to do it, bro. I'm a little bit worried it's gonna slip down during the course of the show, but anything for you, Nate. It's not exactly straight, but it's what Nate wanted, so we try to aim to please here. See, now you can't see my face as much, so let me try to get, and you can't see the mic. Let me get a happy medium point. Hopefully that works for you, bro. Let me see here. How's the mic level, by the way, everyone? Oh, it looks like it's a little loud. All right. Yes, we are gonna do a show and get underway. Nate, I need to know if we do we owe any freestyles? Will you let me know that, bro? And what's up, Sweet Tea? You're experiencing the heat like I am. What's up, Love and Light? Gosh, Vocab, you still have that Kitties watch on. Get you an actual one. Hey, this is a $20 watch from Target, Bento. I'll have you know. And David Wood bought this 1999 watch for me. In all seriousness, I've really only had one real watch in my life. It was a friend from college had got me. Well, I guess that other one could be considered a real one. But one just died, and then the other one got cracked on the face. This one's time's already slowed down, so it's hardly ever accurate with the time. And then I bought one at the barber shop. You know how they got side hustles? And man, that thing broke within 2 days. So I need to get a real one. You know what I'm saying? I do agree, but they kind of be expensive. You know, I gotta adjust my camera. Real talk. Spend all day at the water park out here. Oh, watch out! You better get some sunscreen for real, Sweet Tea. You know Edomites burn. Now we can see your entire banner. Oh, you weren't really saying that, were you, Nate? My bad. I'm about to get into this. I'm just looking. I know some people don't like this. But, you know, you can never please everyone on the internet. There's all kinds of apologetic shows. Hey, Miss Ty Mac, what's up? I'm glad you're getting to know people in here, too. But who else we got? I saw somebody up in here. But, you know, there's all kinds of shows. What's up, Galatians 3:29? Again, I apologize for the lateness, but let's blame it on Con Man Mike today and his family. And, you know, if I'm late like that, no, it has something to do with kids. Or has something to do with eating with somebody. That's usually what it has to do. Now, if I'm super late, watch out. Maybe something else is going on. Maybe the jihadis finally got me. You know what I'm saying? Niles Guy, when am I visiting Chicago? Niles Guy, I was just in Chicago last summer. But the way it works for me is I only go to a place if they hit me up. I don't just randomly travel. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that in a funny way. I'm just saying that's kind of how it is. So if somebody wants me there and they get me there, the Lord will work it out. And I'm pretty chill. I go wherever things can work out. I don't really try to book nothing or stress nothing. It kind of just, honestly, it just falls into place. It just happens. I'm not even joking. Like, that's how kind of my life is. God is good. I'm paid up on the freestyles. Yeah. All right. All right, well, Andrew, let me know. And, it looks like we're ready to get this started. Okay, check this out. Here's the deal, everybody. David Wood and I just got done recording a series of videos. And these videos are, what's up, starting off with the Super Chat, Rox B. Will someone please explain to the audience, by the way, how the Super Chats work with the freestyles? Because I want to get this show on the road. Could someone please explain it? Thank you, Rox B. Much love to you. And if I did not already give you a shout-out, please forgive me. I don't think I did, and I'm sorry, for real. Like, my mind is, you know, weird. And shout out to you, Rox B. Thank you. Okay, now, so what I want to do now is bring out some of the things that we're going to be bringing up in our series, okay? And I don't think you guys want spoilers unless you do. What I mean is, I'm not going to be reading the scripts, okay? Because you guys haven't seen the videos yet. They haven't come out yet. But I am going to show you some of the content. And as I do that, as I show you guys some of the content here, you guys can tell me if you would like a tiny bit of spoilers along the way. Now, you guys are smart, and some of you follow me on social media, and you know that I've dropped hints towards spoilers. That's why you really should. It's not a big deal. It doesn't affect, it's okay. But you really should follow me if you're interested in stuff on social media, especially Instagram. I mix personal and private and public stuff on there, which may be stupid of me, but nonetheless I do, which some people don't like, some people do. It is what it is. But on there, I've been dropping little hints and showing you guys some things that we've been recording here. Sorry, this mic picks up me breathing better than ever, and I don't like it when I go back and listen. I'm going to try to mute myself out. But I don't want to hit mute every time, So what I want to do is look at some of our scripts here, and I want to bring out some of the contradictions we're bringing out in the scripts, okay? But I want to do this as a team. Let's together today find some contradictions in Islam, okay? So here's what I want you guys to do. And I know this is a little bit weird, but what I want you guys to do is to help me find some of the sources. Now, I'll tell you when I want you to drop them in. Sometimes I actually need you to find the sources, and then other times I need you to actually just put a quote in there from the Quran. So anyone who has ability, could you guys please bring up your Quranic sources and even your access to the Hadith? Because at certain points in the show, I may ask you to drop either a quote in or an actual reference. Does that make sense what I'm saying here, guys? I hope it does. So I'll let you know. For example, I need someone to get a couple passages ready, such as Surah 1094 is one. But get these passages ready because I'm going to need you to post them into the live chat when I tell you, for when the Quran tells people to read or look at the Torah and the Injil, the Old Testament part of it, and the Gospel. That's an assignment. Someone grab a couple of those. And it's okay if more than one person does it. So that's one thing that I'm going to ask you guys to do, okay? Then I need someone else to find where it talks about how Allah's words can't be corrupted. Whether it's a hadith, it has to be sahih. I think it's 1094 though, sweet tea. I think it's 1094, but you'll see it when you get it. So you're going to paste in the quote at the time, okay? Someone find the hadith had to do, or they could be Quranic passages, that Allah's words cannot be changed. They cannot be changed, okay? Someone else in the hadith, if you can find this, the passage that talks about eating 7 ajwa dates. 7 ajwa dates, okay? That one I actually don't have the passage. I need someone to actually get the passage. Now, you may not be able to paste it all in there, but at least you can give the reference for it, okay? Then I need one other person to find the passage about the Jewish woman who poisoned Muhammad. That's going to be in the hadith as well. And if you could have that, at least the reference, okay? So, you guys, this is open source apologetics. You're part of this as I do it, okay? Niles guy, I see you. That's good. I appreciate you bringing that up, but just hold on to those, okay? Because I actually am going to get into what you're bringing up, okay? I see what you're bringing up, Niles guy. Hold on to that. Save that because I want you to paste that in later. Shout out to you, Rodney, for the super chat. Thank you very much. Now, let's just look at this. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, guys. The Quran is thought to be directly from Allah. In an Islamic understanding, Allah would be identical with the God of the Bible, but this Allah, seen through the proper Quranic lens, would be an uncorrupted understanding of the God of the Bible. So the Christians and the Jews would have a misunderstanding about God because they're filtering it through tradition and philosophy and bad sources. This is sort of an Islamic understanding in general about these issues. Muhammad is not seen in the same way as Christians would see even Isaiah or Mark as far as his authorship. He is strictly really viewed as a vessel, as a conduit, whereas Scripture has more of an element that holy men of old were carried along, Peter says. Meaning it's not really auto-dictation, where there's like a voice and the people are essentially secretaries. There's a few times in the Bible where there's a voice and they write down literally those things. The process of inspiration is much more subtle and nuanced and, to be honest, sophisticated in a Christian, and I would say for the most part, Jewish understanding. Islam basically acts as if Muhammad had nothing to do with the Quran other than he's a messenger. So it's not his book on a Islamic understanding, okay, in any meaningful way. And so we're kind of putting all this together to kind of understand this. And a lot of you guys know this stuff, and thank you for the super chatters again. So I know that. I know that, guys. Wait, are you serious? D News says, hilarious. The other day I did a call at a mosque. Person passed out and they gave him a date when he came to. You're serious. Sweet Tea, hold on to that. I don't mind if you share it now, but we're going to get into to that later, okay? So hold on to your verses you guys have got, okay? So let's start. How you doing, Prankville? I'm doing all right. Let's start with some things in the Quran that might be contradictions. So could someone bring up this? This one I need right now, okay? I'm going to actually need this one right now, what I'm about to tell you. The surah that says, if the Quran was by somebody else other than Allah, you would have been able to find much or many contradictions. If you can find that now, I'm actually going to put that on the screen right now. It says, if the Quran was not Allah's, then you could be able to find many contradictions in it. Let me know if someone can find that reference and paste that in. Just a minute, I need some coffee. Lily R., shout out to you. You're one of the reasons we're doing it today at this time, because I know you said you could make it, so praise God you're here. That's pretty good. You know, maybe it's my fault I was late because I asked him if we could stop by and get some coffee after dinner. After we had finished. Excuse my manners, I need a napkin, don't I? Let me mute myself and drink. It's hot here, but that hot coffee still tastes good. Okay. So, has anyone found that? I don't see it. About they would find many contradictions if it was by someone other than Allah. We have almost 50 people in here. Okay, Tippy Bear. Ooh, good. Tippy Bear, can you paste that in there? Everyone, it's Surah 482. A lot of you know this. Surah, when you say Surah, it's roughly like a chapter. That's one way people reference the Quran. Sometimes people will actually put Q, and they mean Quran in there. The K spelling is an older spelling. Sometimes you see the K-O-R-A-N. That's an older spelling. Usually Q-U-R'-A-N or Q-U-R-A-N is considered a more accurate, up-to-date spelling. And so here we are. Come on, Nate. Give me a break, bro. So here we are. And if you guys don't put it up, that's okay. I'm going to turn to it. I'm going to use my study Quran, because I find that to be a very helpful book, and I'm very grateful someone gave that to me as a gift. I'm going to read it because it's important to understand, because you want to understand what the Quran is claiming for itself in the first place. All right? Okay. Do they not contemplate the Quran? Had it been from other than God, they would surely have found much discrepancy therein. Let's read the note here. This indicates that if those who conspire by night, verse 81, were to contemplate the Quran, they would understand the divine providence of the Prophet's commands. Basically, this is saying that if you thought harder, disbelievers, unbelievers, about the Quran, you would realize it doesn't have any errors in it. Haven't you guys realized this? That's what's being said here. If the Quran were of human composition, they would have found much discrepancy, that is, inconsistency, shortcomings, self-contradictions, and falsehoods therein. Although there are different recitations of the Quran. By the way, that's a big deal, because a lot of Muslim apologists, when they do polemics against the gospel, which doesn't make sense in my opinion, but they do nonetheless, they'll point out to parallel passages in, say, Mark or Luke, and point out any differences, even though they're not contradictions, and make a big deal about it. Well, it's like, yo, you have the same thing, and you've only got one author, So lay off, right? Know what I'm saying? Different numberings of the verses, and even different legal rulings found in the abrogated and abrogating verses. That sounds substantial, by the way, in and of itself. All of these apparent differences are considered to be true in themselves. Apparent differences are considered to be true in themselves. The fact that the Quran includes both the abrogated and abrogating verses indicates that the Prophet did not seek to conceal these differences or to revise or refine their Quranic message to create a superficial consistency. It's almost like saying the Quran doesn't have a consistency. I mean, I know they're not saying that. But what's up with that, right? And what's up with saying Muhammad didn't seek to sue the whole thing with abrogation is getting rid of a verse and putting something better in its place. He literally is doing that. You know, Islamic apologetics are so interesting because a lot of times they'll say the opposite of what's happening. This verse represents one of several challenges the Quran poses to its detractors in order to convince them of its divine origin. Elsewhere, the Quran challenges those who disbelieve to produce a single surah like it, suggesting that they will be unable to do so. Well, that's already happened. It's happened a bunch of times, and it's happened in the modern era. Here's one such example. The true Furqan. Get this. Guess what? English and Arabic. It's a Christian gospel message. And I've talked to Arabic speakers, and they tell me this is written beautifully. And it is leagues beyond what the Quran has in its Arabic. Every Arabic speaker I've talked to says this. This is just one example. I heard there's even a further better one. My point is, first of all, eloquence of speech doesn't mean divine. If that was the case, English speakers would make Shakespeare divine, which I've heard some people wanted to do in the past. But see, oh, you guys see Martin Luther? You asking about Martin Luther? Where'd he go? Ah, there he is. He's hanging. Yep. So here we are. And my point is that's not a good proof. But nonetheless, back to reading this here. Yeah, excellent point. Tibby Bear, I'm so glad you're here today. Tibby Bear is bringing out the absolutely excellent point. Thank you. And of course, she's right all the way. Again, she's just if you guys don't know, Tibby Bear is really a wealth of information regarding these matters. She's not to be trifled with. It happened in the Quran itself. Satan made Quran. She's making up the point about the satanic verses where Satan himself imitated the Quran, and Muhammad didn't know the difference. And it's explained later on as, Allah was testing Muhammad and all this kind of stuff, and he had to go back and say, not so much. But it's a great point there that you actually have a situation where Satan himself imitated the Quran. So the argument's defeated. Continuing on, though. But this verse can also have a more general application. For some, the assertion that there is no discrepancy in the Quran should discourage people from arguing over the meaning of the Quran's difficult, ambiguous, or symbolic verses. Ibn Kathir argues that one should understand and interpret difficult verses in such a way that they are consistent with those that are clearly understandable. Now, that is a biblical principle, and that is a general hermeneutical principle. So the principle itself, I would say, is valid. Okay? Not Ibn Kathir's... we want to try to be fair because what do we do with the Bible? We want to try to be fair, okay, guys? That's right. That particular thing that Ibn Kathir is saying is true about interpretation. Since there is no discrepancy in the Quran's message. Now, that's the question that needs to be answered. Is that true? According to a widely reported hadith, notice they didn't... it's interesting, they're not calling it Sahih. They're just saying it's widely reported. The Prophet became visibly angry when he witnessed some of his companions arguing about loudly using different verses of the Quran against one another, and warned that previous religious communities had been destroyed by such disputes. Others, however, considered this verse as giving license and encouragement to pondering the Quran in search of its meaning, thereby invalidating simple, unthinking imitation of others' opinions, taqlid, regarding the Quran, and legitimizing the use of analogical reasoning in its interpretation and application. Now, there's people that complain about the study Quran, mainly a certain kind of Muslim, to be frank with you, and it definitely does apologetics, but it really is unparalleled, and it has a lot of honesty in it, and it is written by true academics, and so I appreciate it. It's very good to understand what the higher level sort of thinking Muslim says about the Quran, and yet still faithful. I think in general, it's still they're faithful to the Quran, even though they're trying to function within a Western context. Okay, now let's talk about this. Somebody want to paste in Surah 4:3? Can someone paste in Surah 4:3? Someone please paste in Surah 4:3. Someone else, please paste on as much as you can. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 268. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 268. Okay? And then if someone else could paste in Surah 33:52. Those are the 3 verses I need. Surah 33:52. If you guys can do that. All right. Yes, good point, Tibby Bear. Okay. Now, let's look. That's setting everything up. Now what we're doing is looking to see if there are... The Hadith, Tibby Bear, is Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 268. Ask David Wood, Eric. Ask David Wood. Hilarious, bro. It's David Wood's fault, Eric. It's David Wood's fault. But it's Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 268. But good to see you, Eric. I will see you tomorrow, my man. And demonetized. Did that really just happen, or you're just predicting it's going to happen? Because it is going to happen. But are you literally predicting now? It's about how many wives Muhammad had. Okay, so some of you guys saw our skit. Guys, I'm going to give you some spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, they're going to be very mild spoilers. If you don't want them, shut your ears for a second. Some of you saw we're going to have a skit where Donald Trump is going to meet, I'm not going to say his name, but I'll just say a certain high-level religious leader. Any guesses who it is? And in this context, Trump and this leader are going to speak about marriage and wives. Now, a lot of you guys know that, thank you, Sweet Tea. Which one was that you brought up? By the way, I'm going to read this, though, real quick. It's so not lawful for you to marry more women after this, nor to change them for other wives, even though their beauty attracts you, except any your right hand should possess as handmaidens of Allah, who watches over all things. Okay, so here we are. And thank you. Okay, now someone that could do Surah 4:3. We're asking this question when we compare Trump with Muhammad as far as marriage. Oop, did I say the name? My bad. How many wives are allowable in Islam? And some of you guys have seen a skit where David Wood and I ask Alexa, we say how many wives are allowable in Islam, and the answer is 4. The answer is 4. So I'm going to read it. Thank you, Tippy Bear. Okay? And if you fear that you will not deal justly with the orphan girls, then marry those that please you of other women, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you will not be just, then marry only those your right hand possesses. That is more suitable, that you may not incline to injustice. So both the ones I had you guys bring up, thank you, Sweet Tea, and thank you, Tippy Bear. Both those have to do with marriage and how many women you're allowed to marry, okay, under Islamic understanding. And, you know, folks write whole books about all this stuff that we're talking about. Within that, though, when you go to Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 268, and this is what we brought out in the not the Aisha skit, but the Alexa skit, where I think it's called, Amazon Alexa calls Muhammad a hypocrite. How many did Muhammad himself marry? The answer is different depending on what Islamic source you go to, but in Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, Book 5, Hadith 268, it's 9 or 11. So Muhammad married more wives than he himself allowed his followers and under Islamic rule. Hypothetically, if an Islamic man had 9, 10, 11 wives in 2019, he'd been in violation of most Islamic schools of jurisprudence. But yet Muhammad was allowed to do that. Now some people turn to this verse that says about your right hand possessing as justification for his excess there. but I don't think it's a good apologetic. I don't think it's legitimate, really. You know what I'm saying? It gives different numbers for different times. That's why I'm saying 9 or 11. But here, Tibby Bear, thank you for bringing it up. See, this is a fun show. We're doing this together. Narrated Qatada. Anas bin Malik said, the Prophet used to visit all his wives in a round during the day and night, and they were 11 in number. Notice there's a lot going on here. And David brought this up when we did the show. Man, I hate saying this stuff, but this about the semen covered prophet. In that, you see that it appears Muhammad would actually hit up and, hit. I don't mean that hit. I mean that other hit, as in, okay, you guys get it. All of his wives, kind of like a sex marathon, unless I guess, you might assume they're just talking about the weather every time, but I don't think so, because you're going to see here right now as I continue on. So he would do this like all together, right? Day and night. So this is like an extensive undertaking. He could have been, delivering rulings or Quranic passages or winning battles or something like that, but instead he's, doing this thing, right? Pulling his Wilt Chamberlain. I asked Anas, had the Prophet the strength for it? So if they're just talking about the weather, which, dry, 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 no rain, right? Okay, just joking. You wouldn't say, does he have the strength for that, right? Anas replied, we used to say the Prophet was given strength of 30 men. Sa'id said on the authority of Qatada that Anas had told him about the 9 wives only, not 11. So this has to do with there's different accounts. You got a lot of wives when your friends can't even keep track of how many wives you've got. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Tibby Bear. Also shared the link. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. So the point here, which I think is important, and you guys have seen that. You guys see in the live chat. Hey, what's up, Apology Accepted? Thanks for Thai lunch and the coffee, bro. Well, thank your family member. Really appreciate that. And you. You see that there seems to be a contradiction. Now, maybe you might say, well, there's not a contradiction. Muhammad is just, he's giving something, but he's living in violation of his own principle. That doesn't mean there's a contradiction in the Quran. That's why I've titled the show Contradictions in Islam. Because Muhammad is supposed to be viewed, it's not just contradictions in the Quran, it's contradictions in Islam. So Muhammad had this thing where he would constantly go against his own rulings. And how many wives he had, that's an example, right? That's a conscious thing you do, where you're like, you have a certain amount of wives. And yet it's seen as okay and good and all this, and you're like, I don't know. There seems to be a problem here. So I'm bringing that out as a contradiction. Now I want to bring out something else, and everything that I'm bringing out right now, everybody, so you guys understand, is something that we're bringing out in these new skits. Someone asked, when are they dropping? I don't know, but I'll just say this: no later than July 4th. That's all I know. I don't know exactly when, but I think you guys will find these new skits fascinating. Okay. Thank you, Tippy Bear. Everything she's sharing, guys, be sure to click on. There's a very interesting thing where in Islam, to divorce the woman, all the man has to do is say talak, talak, talak 3 times. And Sam Shamoon's character, Halal Hogan, brought that out and Islamicized me. Look it up right now. You can even find, a basic Wikipedia entry. Not that we're all about that life. Hey, what's up, Ben? Ben, were you the one kicking it with George and Anthony or Sam or somebody recently? I thought I saw a picture of you with one of the homies. Shout out to you, Ben. Shout out, bro. But he talked about talak, talak, talak. You can look this up, though, in other sources. A Muslim man can reject his wife just by saying it 3 times. It's like, what is it? You say Candyman 3 times in the mirror and he appears. How did it go? Somebody know? I don't remember exactly what it is. But all you got to do is say talak, 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 and you can have a finalized divorce in Islamic understanding. Bugged out, right? So, we're just kind of talking about this. No, women do not have that privilege, sweet tea. No, they do not. vocab stuff on Santeria. I'm a convert. Now that's interesting, Kevin. How did you know to ask me about Santeria? I've only mentioned it like one time. Yeah, divorce, 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 split, 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 separate, separate. Beetlejuicing their wife away. That's funny you said that. We actually talked about that joke behind the scene, and I don't remember if that joke ever made it into the actual, script. But you know what? I do have some resources, as in people who've experienced this. The guy who just asked on Santeria, and I may bring them out sometime. Some personal interviews with some people who were involved and had family members involved. Because I know a couple Puerto Rican homies around the way here in Phoenix, and they got some good information. Oh yeah, Bloody Mary, that was one of them too. So, anyways, we're like trying to be casual with some of this, but this is real stuff that really affects people. Now I hear you, John Williams. You're saying, how can women support this religion? Thank you, Lee LB, for the super chat. I see you. Thank you. Look, I hear you, but guys, try to think from a different vantage point. Think about how bad the West is messed up right now. We don't even freaking know what is a man and what is a woman. We're not even allowed to say who's who. We destroy our women in the womb. A lot of abortions disproportionately affect women. We've got men competing in women's sports. We've got the destruction of the true definition of marriage. We've got, you want me to go down the list? This is not about hate for anybody. This is just saying our culture is decidedly confused about men and women, male and female relationships. So we're just maybe thinking of the good things, but I want you guys to kind of get in a different mindset. Imagine a Muslim person looking at the West, seeing these laws and legalities and rulings. Thank you again, LB, for the super chat. I want you to imagine someone watching that. Islam might look a lot more attractive. That you might, you know what I'm saying? Islam might look more attractive than we think. So sometimes we're like, how can women? But think about it. I'm not saying I agree with the burqas and, all that stuff that happens as far as the forcing of it. But does the West encourage modesty for women? No. The West doesn't encourage modesty for women. It totally objectifies them. There's a real epidemic, and we're objectifying girls younger and younger and younger in the West. Muslims sees that. To them, they see that as a product of Christian society. Now, that's not true. That's the opposite. But they're like, why do I want a part of that? You've got, what's that Anglican lady preacher's name? I forget her name, who justifies porn as long as it's ethically sourced. Doug Wilson was just talking about that. No, I don't agree with everything he says. I'm just saying. I mean, I could just stop. And not only that, don't forget about the pressure. There's extreme pressure from your father to wear the right garb. And if you get married to that man, there's extreme pressure to that. So I hear you. I just want you guys to kind of think about things from their perspective. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now continuing on looking at this. I'm totally switching topics right here. It's just about other contradictions. We've made fun of Donald Trump sometimes for not really knowing the Bible, yet kind of acting like he likes it. My personal perspective is that Donald Trump does have some kind of respect for people who like the Bible. He himself may not necessarily be it's obvious he's not a Bible student or a Bible reader, but I think it's clear that he wants to live in a society where people are about that to an extent. This is my kind of understanding of his psyche, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's true. Look up ethically sourced. Well, don't actually. I don't know if you want to look that up. This is an Anglican preacher who's a female talking about this, what I just mentioned. And like I said, Doug Wilson just put out a video called Can Christians Use the C Word? Shocking stuff. I'm just telling you, this is what's going on. Okay. So, with that being said, oh shoot, I just forgot what I was saying. I totally forgot what I was saying, so I'm just switching things here. Continuing to talk about the contradictions, okay? That's where I'm heading with this. We're talking about the contradictions. I already talked about the marriage. I'm not getting them on. I'm just doing some. It's okay, Radical Love. We understand. Let's switch to another one. In the Quran, Muhammad, or the Quran, is constantly speaking about people of the book and claims to have the true interpretation of the scriptures that later Islamic apologists said were corrupted. Things like that. And you see this sometimes respect for the people of the book and the book itself and the hadith, right? And they're all around. Yet, the Quran itself never quotes the Bible. Some of you may say, well, yeah, it does. And I'm going to get to that place. There are certainly allusions to Bible stories. Noah is mentioned, Abraham, Adam, So clearly that's there. Just look up Tippy Bear. Look up Douglas Wilson, Can Christians Use the C Word? And he wrote a blog on it. Again, I'm not saying I agree with everything in there, but that's where he talks about it. And it's intriguing whether you agree or not. And he explains it, but I'm not going to get into it right now. But let me know if you find it. So we have a situation where the Quran doesn't even quote the scripture as far as a quote, whereas the New Testament is absolutely saturated in New Testament, not just allusions, certainly there's allusions, direct citations. These folks were familiar. In fact, they were able to argue from the Old Testament scriptures that Jesus is the Messiah. Look at Hebrews. Do you know that if you took out the Old Testament quotations from the New Testament, I've heard different things, you would lose almost half the New Testament. It would be like, how do you read this book? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's literally half, but I'm just saying it's a grip, right? Hayden, let's not get guys. We're getting distracted with the Douglas Wilson thing. I was just telling you how to find out more information about the ethically sourced porn lady, et cetera, and I'm just saying it's a very interesting video. It was a 10-minute interview, and I found it fascinating regardless of what I thought. Well, yeah, you have to deal with that. It's going to happen, Jay-Z. I've seen them argue out there, the Muslims and the BHIs. Okay, so back to this. There's an exception. It is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth appears in Leviticus and it appears in Deuteronomy. In those places, you have a legal ruling which is basically saying that the punishment for a crime must fit the crime. The severity of it must match the severity of it. It's actually a limiting factor, okay, that places limits on punishments. It's not right to kill someone for stealing something. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's, sometimes people, you see this bumper sticker, an eye for an eye and tooth for tooth makes the whole world blind. Well, only if the whole world's poking out each other's eyes. But even that's not even literally what it's saying. It has to do with something that's relatively equal. And that's why death penalty, for example, for purposeful murder, especially multiple murders, there's an equivalency to an extent. We never achieve true justice this side of heaven. We must understand that. But we do what we can to approximate righteous justice. And God hates unequal measures, okay? So you can't have a standard for a king that's different for a peasant, which many societies have had. But in the United States, we're supposed to have something called the rule of law. And we know the rich are always advantaged. We know that. And then also, you look in the Old Testament, for example, David was supposed to be on an equal playing field. That's why Nathan could approach him that way. Thou art the man, right? So an eye for an eye and tooth for tooth is a good thing. But there's interesting things about Muhammad, the Quran, quoting this. Number one, when we look at the sources for the Quran, it's also stuff like the Arabic infancy gospels and the proto-evangelium of James and the nativity of Mary and the infancy gospel of Thomas and the gospel of pseudo-Matthew. And it's actually quite a long list. There's even some evidence that Zoroastrianism influenced some things, and even the Egyptian Book of the Dead, perhaps. It's quite fascinating for the sources for the Quran. Now, some of you know I knew a jihadi, Elton Simpson, who went and died, which is sad. He dealt with this in this way, because I asked him one time, I said, the Quran doesn't really quote the Bible, but it actually quotes the Arabic infancy gospel. He said, well, it doesn't matter the source where it came from. Allah knew what was true and included it in his book. So that's how Elton dealt with it. Elton is the guy I knew who was a jihadi, which is somewhat of a standard. It's one of the standard answers you could give. So then when you do get it that doesn't really understand it. By the way, the place where it is, someone, if you could put it in there, Surah 545, Quran 545, that's where an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth is listed. Now there's possibility, there's one other place dealing with the Psalms where there may be a Quranic quotation of a psalm, but it's not exactly as clear. Like I said, there's allusions. That's different than citations or quotations. And you do have in 545 this quote, okay, of an eye for an eye and tooth for tooth. Now here's what's interesting. Muhammad constantly talks about people of the book, yet only quotes their book one time and quotes a bunch of other books that are heretical. Now, where did he hear these from? Maybe when he's doing his trading. He was a merchant. Or maybe he had a sex slave, a concubine named Mary the Copt, who was described as being from Ethiopia. But Ethiopia then could be a vague region for anywhere in Africa. But we could just say, since she's a Copt, she could have been Egyptian, but she could have been living in Ethiopia. Unclear, but Mary the Copt, C-O-P-T, who was described as being from Ethiopia. Maybe some of these stories from her, some of the fanciful stories, because it appears he picked them up orally. But here's what's so interesting. He quotes this, which basically an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. It's not meant to be literal. You got to poke out someone's eye. Although Muslims in Muslim countries do this today. Look up Saudi Arabia and look up where they surgically remove people's eyes who have damaged other people's eyes. I am not kidding you. I just read about this 2 days ago. In Saudi Arabia, there's a man who threw acid on another man and damaged his eye. They surgically removed that man's eye. But, listen to this, everybody. Muhammad himself violated the principle that he quotes. Muhammad himself quotes an eye for an eye and tooth for tooth. Muhammad himself doesn't understand it or didn't care because he violates it. Let me show you what I mean. Do you know that the hadith quote Muhammad is saying, whoever changes his religion, kill him? If you leave Islam, you get murdered. Wait, oh man, I'm having trouble with this. What do we think of that? Do you think that's an eye for an eye and a tooth for tooth? That if someone leaves Islam, they should be murdered or killed? What about this? Muhammad ordered and approved of assassinations of people who mocked him. Poets, old men, women, singing girls, playwrights, authors, satirists of Arabian pagans, had them all assassinated. Look up the article, Muhammad's Dead Poets Society. Look it up. I wrote a poem on it. Maybe one day we'll release the video. We've never finished it. It's epic. Epically tragic and sad. My point is, if someone makes fun of Muhammad, he wants them to die. One of the ones had babies, and she was nursing them, and they were at her breast when the assassins came in. She was sleeping. They removed the children and stabbed her through the heart and killed her. Came back, and the guy kind of felt guilty. Muhammad says, 2 goats won't butt their heads together about her. Do you think that's the punishment meets the crime? Do you know this? That no Muslim can be killed for killing an infidel? Meaning if someone's a kafir and a Muslim kills them, under Islamic jurisprudence, most schools of thought teach that no Muslim can be charged with murder. Now, if they kill a fellow Muslim, that's a different story. But if you kill a kafir, even if it was undeserved, capital punishment cannot be the crime for you. And yet in those same societies, they'll take people who are practicing homosexuals, take them up on the roof and throw them down on the pavement and splat them. I don't think that's right. My point by saying that is you can be murdered in those societies for doing that, but yet if you make fun of Muhammad, you can be killed. If you change your religion, you can be killed. If you kill an infidel, you can't be killed. What are some of the ways you could kill people? Could someone look this up? It's in the Quran. I forget the exact passage. I think it's Surah 5, 33 through 34. Can someone paste in Surah 5, 33 through 34? Surah 5, 33, 34. Someone paste that in. Surah 5, it may take a couple posts, but if you could do that. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Tippy Bear. How can you kill people according to this? You can crucify them. This seems decidedly cruel. Amputate the hands and feet on the opposite sides. Supposed to be considered mercy to do that, but just wait till I get there. Imprison them or banish them from the land. For what? Now, my point is to show this is that the eye for eye, tooth for tooth thing is not even practiced in Islam. For making mischief in the land. Talk about a vague crime. Making mischief in the land. It gets defined really almost as anything. Anything can be seen as making mischief in the land. Let me show you an example from Sahih al-Bukhari. Bukhari is the most trusted hadith source. Notice that's why it's Sahih in the beginning. He's a reliable source there. Volume 4, Book 52, number 261. What happened when Muhammad ran into some folks? Now, granted, these folks did some bad things. But I want to show you how Muhammad ordered something done to them that shouldn't have been allowed. And that went far above things. Thank you. Tippy Bear is sharing everything in the live chat. Do you guys see that? Let me throw these on the screen real quick. Thank you, Tippy Bear. Indeed, the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His messengers strive upon earth to cause corruption is none, but that they may be killed or crucified, or that their hands and feet may be cut off from the opposite sides, or that they be exiled from the land. That is for them a disgrace in this world, and for them in the hereafter is a greater punishment. Except for those who return, repenting before you apprehend them, and know that Allah is forgiving and merciful. Now, let me go back here. Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 4, Book 52, number 261. Muhammad had a situation where some guys did some bad stuff, right? And what happens? He cut off their hands and their legs. You hear that? That's not the opposite. And he had their eyeballs pierced through with nails. Muhammad ordered for these men who did this. Now, they did do crimes. They should have been punished in some way, okay? I'm just saying, listen to the cruel and unusual nature of the punishments. And it seems excess even according to his own Quranic standard. Had their eyeballs pierced through with nails. And then he refused to give them water so that they died of thirst. Don't forget about burning people alive. Here, let me throw this in there. Thank you, Tippy Bear. So, does this sound like an eye for an eye and a tooth for tooth? Not to me. Now, let me go over here. I'm trying to find something else for you guys here. Let's get into another contradiction here. Thank you again, Tibby Bear, for sharing. Let's get into another contradiction here. And someone already brought this up, so if you've got it, bring it up again. It's Surah 30, verse 20. 30:20 of the Quran. What's it say? It says that Allah created human beings from dust. So let me just ask you some questions, right? Hold on, let me stop. This is interesting. Kimberly, how you doing? She says, maybe this shouldn't be pointed out. It may give ideas, just saying. Someone else said, just like ISIS. Now, my point by comparing and contrasting these two comments, Kimberly, and this is no disrespect to you, is that this is already known. I'm pointing out just to show the errors and the problems. Jay-Z, in the comments, noticed that sounds like ISIS. A lot of what ISIS does as far as punishments, they believe come directly from the example of Muhammad and his early companions. My point is, Muslims already know this stuff. Now, the less faithful and true to the sources a Muslim is, the less they'll know about this, okay? So that's a true thing, certainly. But my point is that, unfortunately, it's already known. Well, Patrick, I'll tell you what. Let me encourage you. I hear you, bro. But as far as I can see you're angry about we're talking about this. But let's still remember we're talking about humans made in the image of God. And so I don't know your perspective, but I don't agree or think that kind of language is okay. Yes, we can say things about the sinful nature of humans, but, these are still humans made in the image of God. Corrupt, but that's why we all need repentance, because we're all sinners. So just keep that in mind, okay? So here, throwing this on here. Thank you, appreciate it. Sweet tea. Among his signs, switching back to what we're talking about, among his signs is this, that he created you from dust, and then behold, you are men scattered far and wide. So dust is dry, correct? Now, someone find Surah 24:25, because there it's going to say that Muhammad, excuse me, I don't know if I said that earlier. If I did, apologize. The Quran is saying Allah created human beings from dust in Surah 30:20. Yet in Surah 24:45, the Quran states that Allah creates every living creature from water. You hear me? From water. Someone, if you could, grab that and throw that up there. Surah 24:45. Surah 24:45. All right, listen to this. Human beings are living creatures, right? Yes, that's the one's to be bare, but if I want someone to quote it if they could. Someone throw that. I want to quote that and throw it up there. So human beings are created by in one place water, and the other place every living thing is human beings are said to be created by dust in one passage in the Quran, and then another place it says that every living creature is created from water. And this is only two places, because Tippy Bear is bringing out another one that we could even get further into. I'm only bringing out two of the contradictions because I find them the most distinct, because dust is different than clay or mud or dirt, and those are all different things. But dust is dry, water is wet. But human beings are living creatures. So if everything's created, if every living thing is created from water, including human beings, then the question is, are human beings created from dust, or are they created from water? Because isn't wet the opposite of dry? How could something be dry and not dry, wet and not wet at the same time? This is a problem. So what do they say? Well, I think Zakir Naik, for example, who's a Muslim apologist, says something like this, that Allah took some water and mixed it with dust, and then he created mud, and then he created man by shaping that mud into man. Thank you guys for bringing up the scriptures. Appreciate it. I'll show both translations, because I see we got a couple different translations here. So I appreciate that. Throwing them on the screen. You guys are doing a great job. Doing a great job there. Throwing up Tippy Bears there. And now we come to the next problem. Well, I'm going to get there in a second. But you guys see this? I'm glad you guys are doing this. You guys are doing a great job, by the way. Hey, thank you very much, Brian Weinberg, for the super chat. So I'm throwing up these different ones. Do you guys see the problem here? But so Zakir Naik, for example, will say, tries to rectify it in this way. So it's kind of like the recipe for making man, I guess, one part water, 2 parts dust, and take mud and shape it into man, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But here's the problem. Someone bring up Surah 19, verse 67. No, it's okay, Warrior Woman. I'm glad you're bringing stuff up. I want everyone to do it. It's okay. I think it's better that way because we get multiple translations. So if someone could please bring up Surah 19, verse 67. Because now we're going to see in Surah 1967 that it says that Allah creates from nothing. But here's the obvious question. Aren't dust, water, and mud something? The answer is yes, of course. So water is something, dust is something, mud is something. And yet, in the Quran, in Surah 19, verse 67, what is said? It said that he creates from nothing. Thank you, Sweet Tea's bringing up. But does not man call to mind that we created him out of nothing? I mean, you guys, here, I got the Logos stuff in the way. Let me do this. I think that's a little bit better way to do it. You know what? Maybe I should you know what I'm thinking I'm doing? I'm thinking of maybe I have like a black background here or some kind of color, and it's just blank, and then I'll drop all the comments onto it, and that way they won't be like on the screen like this. I've never done that before. Maybe it could be up here. I'm gonna think about that. It won't be this show, obviously, but I'll just create like a yellow top or something, and I'll just drop comments on it. Maybe that'd be a good way to bring comments up there. Tibby Bear shares, does not man remember that we created him before while he was nothing? So this seems like a problem, because dust, mud, water, fire, clay, these are all something. Now let's go to Surah 3:47. Surah 3:47. Because guess what? Here it's going to say in Surah 3:47 that all needs to happen is Allah say it be, and it is. So he just creates by saying be, and then it is. So if we look at Surah 3:47, what are you going to see there? You're going to see, he says be, and it is. But wait a minute. In one situation, we've got like this step-by-step lengthy process where Allah is mixing together different ingredients, and then he's fashioning them into a shape before breathing into them. But that's going far beyond simply saying the word be. Do you guys see this? This is a problem. So let's bring this up. Thank you, Tippy Bear. She said, my Lord, how will I have a child when no man has touched me? The angel said, such is Allah, he creates what he wills. When he decrees a matter, he only says to it be, and it is. This is in relationship to the virgin birth. LB says in the Quran, who is we created man? That's a very interesting point, LB. The standard answer is something that you've heard other times, and that's the royal declarative we, that sometimes ancient Near Eastern or Middle Eastern kings or monarchs or rulers would use to speak of them and their kingdom along those lines. However, LB, the Quran never says that. I'm just saying, you're asking a good basic question, because they'll say that as if it's a given, but the Quran itself never says that. And to my knowledge, I've never seen anywhere in the Hadith to say that either. Meaning you have a situation where it's being said, well, the we is clearly this, but is it really clearly that? It's a very interesting problem. Who is the we speaking, and how do you know that's who it is? Very, very interesting that you said that. The real answer is, we've got an apologist answer, but I'm not sure if that's really ever given in any meaningful way. All right. Okay. Now let's go on to some other issues relating to creation. Can someone please bring up Surah 2:29? Surah 2:29. And here what we're going to see is that Allah is going to create the earth, and then he's going to turn his attention toward heaven, and then create the 7 heavens. Now, Ibn Kathir has rationalized this issue this way, that a builder builds the foundation first, then the roof. And so by way of analogy, Allah created the earth first and then the heavens. And Ibn Kathir, I think, would want us to see that this shows the wisdom of Allah, right? Now again, everything I'm bringing up here, just so everyone knows, is going to be included in our new video series. So let me stop, guys. Bring up Surah 2:29, please. While I'm doing this, these points you're going to hear in a comedic way coming soon. Okay, so I'm giving kind of little tiny spoilers to everybody, but the issues are serious that we're discussing here, and we're going to act them out in hopefully a way that makes them more memorable. That's our plan. That's our hope. Thank you, Love and Light. The more the merrier. I like when people share. Thank you. Let me throw yours in there as well. And so I want you guys to be ready. And remember, Vocab did that series, and he talked a little bit about this. So now I understand the background better. So get ready, because you're going to see it played out in another way. And I think it's going to be very, very helpful to everyone. So guess what? Now let's go over to Surah 79, verse 27 to 33. Just find the relevant portion if you can, okay? But in Surah 79, verses 27 to 23 of the Quran, it says that Allah created the heavens first and then created the earth. This is different than what is said in Surah 2, verse 29. Is it not? And so then what you'll sometimes hear as Muslim apologists say, hey, thank you, LB, and I appreciate it, and thank you for the live chat, and thank you, you're welcome for the live chat, and thank you for the super chat. I hope you appreciate, LB, I haven't seen you around before, so just so you know, we do things a little bit different. It's a casual, laid-back, fun environment for apologetics. We only cover certain issues, and we do it in a certain way, kind of streetish, but also kind of nerdish, which is simply, I guess my personality or background or whatever. And then sometimes we plod along and take our time and a little bit of stream of consciousness, you know what I'm saying? We have a little bit of fun. We throw freestyles in there. And it's designed to be authentic, yet some level of professionalism, but not too much to where the authenticity is stripped away. And then we have a beautiful apologetic community made of all kinds of different people who are really become like family. And so thank you for joining the live stream, and hopefully you get the idea. But we don't only do these long videos. These are longer, obviously, live stream. We also do shorter things, so check those out as well. And yes, hit the like button. Hit the like button. So let's look at this. Coming back to what I was saying here. They'll say, according to Surah 79, 27 to 33, where it says the opposite of what we just discussed, that Allah created the heavens first and then the earth. They'll say, well, this demonstrates the power of Allah, because only the most powerful of builders could build the roof first and then later on build the foundation. But these two things are contradictory. And let me just give you a hint, okay? Let me. Thank you, Tibby Bear. Tibby Bear, do you have your own YouTube channel, right? You do videos on this stuff, don't you? I believe that you do. You should definitely link some of your videos and all that, because you got some dope stuff. Tibby Bear, I would say, is more knowledgeable than I am. I'm just the one happens to be on the channel, and I'm just doing my best. But she be bringing it. Okay, so listen to this. And I don't have any problem saying that, I don't got to be the answer man about everything, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to learn and grow together. Okay, spoiler, right? We're going to have Muhammad being interviewed, or we're going to have Socrates and Muhammad have a conversation. They're actually going to have multiple conversations in our upcoming series. I play you know who, and then David plays, wait, let me make sure I share all these. David is going to play Socrates. Socrates, if you know, he would question people to bring out the wisdom and truth or falsehood or contradictions in their statements, usually the latter, it seems. But it would be designed to be a learning experience, and this method of asking these pointed questions, sometimes called the Socratic method. So we're going to have Socrates employing the Socratic method with the human author of the Quran. Hey, thank you very much, Nate, for that, because right when you did that, somebody donated through PayPal. So thank you, Nate, for real. Like, when you do that, I want you to know, bro, that it makes a difference, because as you're doing it, I got a notification that somebody is responding. So I really appreciate that, bro, and want you to know that it's actually happening in live time. Benjamin West, I see you. You know what? We count super chats, but guys, Benjamin West, I don't know if he wants me to say his name and the amount, just donated 25. So Nate, let's add that to the pot, because that counts as well. So thank you, bro, and thank you, Nate. Seriously, much love. I got you guys. We're gonna probably need to end up here and do the freestyle quick here. Okay, so it's gonna be very interesting to have Socrates talk to this man, don't you think? So let me see. I'm looking over my notes here. I don't think we're gonna be able to get all this script and the ideas I had. Yeah, I know I told you guys about the Ajwa dates and stuff, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get to that, guys. I'm looking at the time here. We need to stop at this point in the show as far as bringing out the contradictions, and switch over real quick to some final things here today, because it's the time schedule. That's kind of what we need to do. So Nate, please let me know where we're at with the freestyles. I have not been able to talk yet to my man Jonathan Soko, but Soko, much love to you. You sent me a grip of new beats. I've got them. I've downloaded them all. They're dope. I used one of the ones for today's intro. And I'm going to use one for the freestyle right now, and I give you much love for that, Soko. Soko's a great guy. Nate, let them know about the Soko thing if it's still popping off. And shout out to you. And I got my man over here, Jay-Z, says, be careful that they don't put a fatwa on your vocab. Well, there's really no way to be very careful doing what we're doing. We can do a couple things to be wiser, but, you know, it is what it is. We don't really know what's going to happen to us doing these kinds of things. You know, I'm not trying to be melodramatic, but there's no way to be careful if you're criticizing Muhammad. Meaning, I don't want people to be upset or mad. I'd rather have a dialogue and talk about these things or have people respond. But what can I do? You know what I mean? It's either don't do it or do it. So it's happening. I'm taking certain steps and precautions in my life and stuff. But to be honest, there's only so much you can do. You know, if it's your time to go, it's going to be your time to go. And I don't know what's going to happen. So I hear what you're saying. But, bro, this is kind of the risk we take when we criticize Islam. And not to be bare, that's good. I appreciate what you did. I think that was enough. I don't know what else to do. It is what it is. LB, I've seen you around. I found you late a few months ago. YouTube recommended I watch Islamicizing. I've been checking out your personal channel videos. Keep up the cool work. I subscribed, of course. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, we're getting pretty close to 14,000 subs. So kind of push the channel because I'd like to get to 14,000 subs before the end of the month. Thank you very much, Nate, for keeping track of the super chats. Appreciate that. One last comment here. Thanks for the topic, vocab. When I was with that Muslim guy, I was more occupied with staying alive than studying Islam. Thanks to Jesus that he saved me. Well, I don't know your story, but it sounds like you're saying you were dating a Muslim man. Very interesting. It'd be interesting to hear your story. Thank you, Tibby Bear. We didn't get to the Audra dates, but Tibby Bear shared the relevant link. Hey, sheesh. Oh, I think you're joking, so I'll allow that. Okay. I see you, Patrick. I think you're joking. Vocab, you are covered by the blood, brother. Amen, sister. Claim that. And there, Nate, I'm going to share what you're sharing there. Okay, we're pretty much at the point. Oh, wait. Let me throw it up on the screen. Sorry, I know it's a little small. Amen, amen. All right. We got a lot of great stuff going on. Okay, guys, it's time to switch, though, into the freestyle. I think we've got one. So let me find the beat here. And let me see here. Let's see, which one will we do today? Give me a second, guys. I got a whole bunch of brand new beats that Soko sent me. Just gotta find it. This one right here. I found the one I liked. All right, you guys ready for the freestyle time? All right, let's get this started. I need to turn down this microphone because I tend to get a little loud. You turn this beat. Okay, guys, I'm going to need some water real quick here. Man, these headphones, I need some other kind of headphones that go backwards. I got to get some new headphones. These are really hot in my ear, too. That's a new thing I need. Headphones that won't make me hot during the show, and yet, like, that also are good and will stay on when I wear a fedora like this. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to work on that. All right, guys, I think it's been a great show. You guys are super, super, super helpful. Much love to y'all. It was great to see some of you guys back around, and just look for these new videos coming out. I think you're going to love them. I think you're going to enjoy them greatly. And keep on praying for Kame and Mike. I get to see him tomorrow as well. I'm very excited about that. All right, here we go. Freestyle time. Freestyle, yeah. See. Get that volume right. Let me get that mic right. Let me get that mic. Let me get it right. Guys, let me know how it sounds. I like this one. How's the volume? Remember, it's got to be loud enough. Okay, it's time to start, y'all. Freestyle, and then we're done. Let me change the light setting here a little bit. Make it a little bit darker. All right, do this. Freestyle at the end, y'all. It's time, y'all. What did we discuss? Here we go. So go. Yeah. Vocab Malone from here to France. Get it ready to dance. Everybody, but don't drop your pants. The new works for an ambulance company. I see y'all bumping the beats by Soko. Are you wanting me to go crazy as I drink the coffee? Check it out, Satan. He cannot stop me. He cannot stop me. I'm an Italian Rocky. Apologist, but please don't mock the prophet of Islam, or they will drop bombs and kill your neck until you are gone. But we gotta keep on with the polemics. Cannot stop. We gotta get it. The Bible says expose false prophets, so we cannot forget it. We will unlock it, the scripture. Like an artist with a paintbrush, I paint the picture and then enlist ya in the army. Put you in harmony for Jesus the Christ. Be bombing me on a regular basis. Vocab Malone, definitely not racist. If you're a racist, then you get blocked. I do the WAP up and down my block. I rock hip hop everywhere that I walk. Yes, yes, y'all, when it just don't stop. We rock it until the wheels fall off. Maybe even flop, but we not soft. We react in love. Yes, yes, all. It's from above. He will not shove the gospel down your throat. We quote Jesus the Christ to here to the remote islands. Freestyling, you got it in a while. Yes, yes, y'all. It's like a vial of crack. It's addictive and all of that. I got a magic backpack, and now it's talking as I'm rocking, deconstructing Islamic doctrine. I know they watching. Shout out to Austin, my man brother Jay. He be flossing in his video. I got the style. They call me Stilo. Y'all don't know. Soko, yes, he made that beat. A shout out to everybody I see in the street, okay, from here to Carolina. Vocab Malone, I'm here to remind ya, the gospel of truth, you got to find her. Diamonds in the rough, and don't let it blind ya or bind you like demonic power. The show went more than an hour. I devour this Starbucks. Yes, yes, y'all, it's not luck, it's providence, and that's what I meant. The Jesus the Christ is my instrument. That's what I meant. I leave the microphone bent. Vocab Malone, I'm not heaven sent, but he is. That's my testament. Yes, yes, y'all, we made a dent in Islam today. Saturday, turn to Christ, he's the only way. Blaze display, I don't got no DJ. Yes, yes, y'all, we rock it all the way to Y2K plus 20 years. Vocab Malone, I have no fear. And when I do, I hear the cheers of the cloud of witnesses in the back. They cast it away. What you got to say? This is the show. It's a holiday. Have a party. So what you say? You don't know? We do it this way. Yes, yes, y'all. This is the end. Peace out, everybody. Let's do it again. Ha ha! It's been real, y'all. God bless. Have a beautiful Saturday. I'm going to try to go live again, but we'll see what's up. Anyways, stay strong. Hit me up. Keep everything in prayer. Look for those new videos. Shalom. Shout out. Thank you for the Street Apologist Squad and all y'all for holding it down. Peace.